Hello lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Man, it's been a minute since I've sat down and filmed a video for you guys. My apologies. There is a legitimate reason why I haven't been filming or uploading, and that reason is in the following footage, so I hope you really enjoy, and I will join you back here in just a second. Alright, well, there's a possibility that I am pregnant and I'm going to take a test, and I just decided to turn on the camera in case it is positive. I will get my reaction. So I have one of these easy at home early pregnancy tests, and I took one like a week ago, but it was, my eye is twitching, hold on. I took one like a week ago, but it was too early if I was pregnant. So if I am, today I'm like 13 days post ovulation. So it should be positive. There's still a possibility I could be pregnant and this turns out negative, but we're gonna see. Do you want a baby brother or a baby sister? Are you ready to be a big brother? I mean a big sister to a baby brother or a baby sissy? What do you think? Bethany's outside playing. My eye will not stop twitching. I think I've just been thinking about this like all day yesterday, all day today. I'm like slightly nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. This is like, if I am, this is the third time, and we were, I was almost ready to start trying again. So if I am, great. And I've been like even looking at like 3 stroller options earlier this morning. So I'm going to dip it and we shall see what the results say. Let's go all the way up. Okay, it's almost ready to be set down. Okay, we're gonna see. Ready, honey? Okay, so I just decided to take a pregnancy test because I've been so dang exhausted, like unbelievably so, like to the level that I was like, surely I have to be pregnant because this level of exhaustion is not like me. Like, I'm going to bed somewhat relatively early, and why are you so upset that I'm talking to the camera? I go to bed relatively early and I'm still like not even like almost not hearing my alarm, and that's not typical for me. You cannot touch it, Miss Addie. Okay, I'll be back when this is done. Okay, I think it's been about 30 seconds. Usually my results show up by now, at least the other times that I've checked, so. Can you see? Okay, hold on. Focus. Super faint, but it's there. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't even believe it. Thank you, Jesus. I knew I was pregnant. I just knew. I knew I was. I would have been very surprised if it had been negative again. Okay, so I'll make a detailed video as to why I knew I was pregnant before I even took this test. Oh my gosh, I'm shaking. I just half expected it to be, like blank, you know? Wow, that's a really early result. That's 13 days. 13 days since conception. And the reason I know is because I have been doing natural family planning, but my cycle was irregular this cycle and it threw everything off. But we had been tracking and we had been like successful at doing natural family planning since I got my period back after I had Adeline. But I can't even believe it, there's a little baby. Oh, I'm obviously not showing at all right now. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. I'm like shaking. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I wonder if it's a boy or a girl. Wow, okay, so I'm pregnant with my third baby. This is crazy because this baby is gonna be due like Christmas. I already like checked all that and everything. Because with Adeline, I conceived at like when she was born 2020, but I conceived at the beginning of April. And this baby I conceived middle of April, and she was born on the 10th. So we're looking at possibly having a Christmas baby. Oh my word, like I can't even believe it. So she'll be 2 by the time we have this baby, which will be hopefully a little bit of an easier gap. Not that there was like benefits to having the girls 16 months apart, but oh my gosh, I can't even. Wow. I think 2 years will be a little bit easier because she's walking now and everything. Bethany was not walking when I got pregnant with Adeline. Oh my gosh, I'm shaking. Oh my word. Wow. Thank you, Jesus. So something that I resolved in my head a while back was that on my box of like pregnancy strip tests and ovulation tests, I wrote out a verse that says children are an inheritance from the Lord and the fruit of the womb is a reward. And I did that because I found myself getting really anxious anytime I thought I was pregnant over the last like year or so, year and a half almost. Because there's been quite a few times that I thought I was pregnant and I wasn't. And I wrote that verse out so I would see it every time I would open that box and just be reminded like children are a blessing. Like it doesn't need to be an anxious inducing thing, because the first time I tested for pregnancy, or what I really thought I was pregnant the month before I conceived Adeline, and I wasn't, but I got very anxious because I was thinking I have a 6-month-old baby. If I'm pregnant, this is gonna be crazy. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. I'm pregnant. Okay, I need to go. I really want to tell Roberto, but he was gonna come home. It's like almost 3. It's almost 3. Okay, I really want to go tell him that I'm pregnant, but he just texted me as I was getting ready to take this test. And let me go get Bethany real quick, hold on. Anyways, as I was saying, I don't remember what I was saying, but I'm really excited. I'm really happy. Wow, just can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. I mean, I can. I kind of figured out like almost immediately. I think that I ovulated on the week that I thought I wasn't ovulating. Like I thought I ovulated 1 week late compared to what I thought should have been, like if I was going according to when I had my period. And this just happens like if you have an irregular cycle and you're not using birth control, which we're not using birth control contraceptives except for condoms. But this is something that happens if you have an irregular cycle. There's just always the possibility that you miscalculate when you're ovulating. And yeah, this baby is wanted. It is blessed. It's gonna be such a little blessing. I can't wait to welcome him or her. I'm really excited. Praise God. Okay, I am going to pack up the girls and I'm gonna go tell Roberto. I don't know how to, I really want to surprise him, but I already told him there's a possibility that I'm pregnant, so he's kind of expecting it. Wow, okay, let me go surprise him. So yes, we are expecting our third baby. And let me tell you, It's a lot. Like, it was a lot to process at first, even though, you know, we want to have a lot of kids and everything. We were already planning on starting to have more children, probably more towards the end of this year. But I got pregnant in, I believe it was April. Man, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. So I had, you know, gotten into more of a regular schedule with posting, and just, I needed to listen to my body because I was so extremely fatigued for the first like good 10 weeks of my pregnancy. And so in the footage that you saw when I saw my positive test and everything, and what was going through my mind was, this better be positive, because if it's negative, something is up with my body, because I was so tired, and there, for no reason. You know, I was still going to bed at the normal times. I wasn't staying up excessively late because I felt tired, so I was sleeping more. And I just knew something was up. So I was really happy that it was positive, because I knew I wasn't crazy. But so I found out at 13 days post-ovulation. So that was honestly really, really early for me. I have never found out that early, but I feel like because I had all the symptoms of it and everything, and I miscalculated when I was ovulating, and so I ended up pregnant. But it's okay. It's all good. We're super excited to have another baby. Baby will be due at the beginning of January, and we're so excited to meet him or her. We heard the heart rate as well, which I will, or the heartbeat. We've heard the heartbeat, not the heart rate. So I'll insert that footage here so you can see and hear little baby's heart. What is it?
164.
Sorry. So the heart rate of the baby was 164, as you heard my assistant midwife say. Adeline's heart rate was really low. She was like 130, 140 like the whole pregnancy. Bethany was really high. Bethany was like 160. But the main thing that makes me think that this could possibly be a boy this time is that I haven't had the nausea. I had a little bit of nausea, but not to the point of throwing up. I never have thrown up during this pregnancy compared to with my two girls. I threw up a lot. So, and it lasted like pretty much the whole first trimester. And with Bethany, it lasted a little longer. With Adeline, it wasn't as intense, but with Adeline it was. So I haven't thrown up at all. I did get food poisoning though at the very beginning of my pregnancy, like at 6 weeks or 5 weeks. No, wait, it was earlier than that. It was like 3 weeks, and I knew I was pregnant already. So it was like the week after I found out. I was so sick, but I know that it wasn't from the pregnancy because Roberta was sick as well, and I think the girls might have come down with it too. So I'm pretty sure it was food poisoning, but yeah, so that wasn't fun. But other than that, I've been great. I have a few tricks though that I think have helped, is that I make sure to eat something almost right away when I wake up. I drink fluids, a lot more fluids in the morning as well. Helps a lot to, you know, relieve any kind of nausea if you have that. And then I did have a little bit of food aversion / nausea, which never turned into anything much, but having saltine crackers on hand, having bone broth, soups, and what else did I have? Oh, like carbonated, unsweetened drinks have helped a lot. I'm out of breath right now because I'm pregnant. I feel like I can't talk for long periods of time without being super out of breath. But anyways, so how I knew I was pregnant before I actually took a test. Everybody always wants to know these. I always researched this stuff when I was thinking maybe I'm pregnant, maybe I'm not. This time it was because I had extreme fatigue, and I sensed a lot of ligament pulling. So when you're pregnant, the ligaments, there's a little baby bump. Oh wait, you can't see because of the chair, but there's my little baby bump. These ligaments right here that kind of like reach into your legs, and then sometimes on the top, some of those are called the round ligaments. Anytime I would sneeze or cough, they would hurt and pull, like almost like it would feel like a rubber band pulling on the inside. And with both of my girls, after I knew I was pregnant, I experienced that. I experienced that with Bethany before I knew I was pregnant. And I experienced it like a few days into being pregnant. Maybe closer to the 2-week mark, I started feeling that more. So that was a pretty sure sign. Other things that were present, but I didn't realize it was because I was pregnant until after I got my positive pregnancy test, was I had a really heightened sense of smell. I mean, it was so strong. Like, obviously we have a kitty, and we've had her litter box in a little closet, like cleaning closet, for a while since we got her. And I would clean it, you know, regularly, doing the normal things that I do with it. It never bothered me, ever. And then because the cleaning closet is like right next to the kitchen, I kept thinking, like, why does the litter box smell so bad? Like, I can smell it in here and it's driving me crazy. And Roberto couldn't really tell. And obviously it was a heightened sense of smell from pregnancy, but I didn't realize it. And so yeah, that was one of the very first symptoms that I had. And then also, this is really gross, but so I was rocking Addie in her room, and I kept smelling like this horrible smell in her room, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I like looked all around and I didn't see anything. And then the next day I was rocking her in there, and then I realized, to my dismay and it was horrifying, my kitty had been using the potty underneath Adeline's bed, because she, I guess, one day didn't have access to the litter box, and then she got used to using that when we weren't here. I was so mad. So mad. But obviously I smelled that and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. So anyways, adventures of having a pet. You gotta love them. I sanitized everything, obviously, but yeah, that was really gross. But heightened sense of smell. I took a few notes towards the beginning of my pregnancy because I knew I would be filming an update for my first trimester, and at like 4 weeks pregnant, which technically is only 2 weeks since conception, but they add another 2 just for counting purposes. I don't know why they do that. It's so confusing. But so at 4 weeks pregnant, something that I noticed that happened with me is I started experiencing really sensitive nipples and darkened nipples. Obviously I'm still breastfeeding Adeline. She's not completely weaned yet, and she definitely wasn't weaned when I first got pregnant at all. And so it started to get really, really annoying to breastfeed her because I was very sensitive in that whole area, which also led to me kind of initiating weaning, but she also is not, you know, loving my milk anymore because it's pretty much changed back to colostrum at this point, and my volume of milk has gone really, really down. So if you're breastfeeding and you're gonna have another baby, that's something to be aware of, is that your milk supply will diminish a little bit, but you can continue to breastfeed throughout your pregnancy. Something that we are doing though is we are supplementing with bottles because she cannot fall asleep with just nursing anymore, and we know she's hungry, so she is having whole milk. Found out she has a lactose, probably not intolerance, just a lactose sensitivity, so she's on lactose-free milk, but that has helped a lot because she was getting really bad diarrhea from just regular milk. So we're going to reintroduce lactose slowly. That's a whole nother subject. But that's something that has helped me as well be able to like not feel so frustrated, because I would try to nurse her to sleep and she just would not fall back asleep. So bottles have helped. Bottles of milk have helped tremendously with that. Other than that, I've just been really listening to my body and taking the time that I need to rest, especially during the first like 2 months of pregnancy. I felt so exhausted, and the times that I would use to actually film and edit was when the girls would nap. And after I got pregnant, I was so exhausted and I just needed to rest. And so forgive me for not saying anything and not being on here very much at all, but I just needed to listen to my body, and my body's growing a baby and growing a placenta and everything else, so I just needed to chill for a little bit, and I finally feel like I'm getting my energy back. Currently I am 13 weeks and 5 days pregnant, so that has been very fun. It's very fun to see how big the baby is. The baby's about, I think, 4 inches long or 3 inches long right now. So it's just really cool to see all the the developmental stuff. All of the main components of a baby are components all of the baby's parts are there by the end of the first trimester. Really by like 10 weeks, everything's fully formed and visible, and it's just so sweet and so cute, and they're just like this tiny little miniature tiny little baby. And it's so cute to see, just like if you have like a pregnancy app and follow along with how baby's developing, what things are growing that week, what things are, you know, just like the formation even of like fingerprints. So cool to know what week that happens on. So let me show you something and recommend a few things that have helped me a lot in this first trimester, and let me go grab them real quick because I didn't grab them. Okay, so something that I completely forgot to mention before I get into a few different things that I want to show you. I got really sick this pregnancy. I don't know what it was, but I had several bouts of several different things that happened. So the first thing was, obviously I already mentioned that, the food poisoning. What happens is when you're pregnant, your body brings down its defense system of your immune system so that it doesn't reject the pregnancy, doesn't reject the baby. And consequently, you're more sensitive to pathogens, bacteria, viruses, you name it, because your body's not like, it doesn't have a full armor and barrier against those things. So it's really easy to get sick while you're pregnant. So I had the food illness, food related illness. Don't know what it was. Don't know how I caught it. Roberto got it too though, so I don't think that was completely due to me being pregnant. Happened to me with Bethany as well, early in pregnancy. The second thing that happened was I got a really, really bad yeast infection, vaginal yeast infection, like a month and a half into pregnancy, or actually it was a little bit more. It was probably more like 2 months. It was horrific. I have never had a yeast infection in my life. I've had a bacterial infection before, but never a yeast infection. It was so awful. If you can at all avoid it, avoid them at all costs, because it was so bad. I ended up using a suppository to get rid of it, but it was so itchy, so nasty, and I didn't know like what had caused it. And honestly, the main thing is just that your hormones fluctuate so much in pregnancy that it makes you more susceptible to your flora changing inside of your body. And I had never experienced this before with any of my other pregnancies, and so it came as quite a surprise. I didn't know that I had one until it was quite progressed. And so midwife told me to take a suppository, or to use a suppository, and then to take probiotics along with my regular vitamins. So I just picked up the probiotics that you refrigerate are much better than probiotics that are on the shelf. So these are refrigerated ones. These are Women's Daily probiotics with 2 billion live cultures. These are like middle of the road for as many as they have, and honestly I really like these. I dropped the bottle like right after I got it, and the whole bottom shattered off. So there's no glass in here, I promise, but I needed to keep something to put these in the fridge. So that's one thing. Another thing that happens a lot during pregnancy with me is I get migraines. This time though, I got a migraine that was so severe. It was only on the left side of my head, behind my ear, down my neck, and on my shoulder, and then kind of like had middle of the back pain. But along with that, I had a really bad fever, and I had, that lasted like 3 days. And then, what was my other symptom? Oh, I had stiff neck. And I kind of Googled the symptoms a little bit and found out that when you have a migraine plus a stiff neck, you are never ever supposed to just like treat it at home. And so I let my doctor know. I was like, hey, I know this isn't great symptom wise. What do you think I should do? And he was like, you need to go immediately into the emergency room, because I was also taking painkillers to kind of get rid of the headache, and it wasn't getting rid of it fully. It was still there, like I could still feel it throbbing at the top of my head. So we were in the emergency room for 13 plus hours, never got put in a room because of COVID regulations where they don't put people in every room now. And they gave me some Tylenol. The headache went away. So the risk was that I could possibly have had meningitis. And I knew that going into it. My doctor did not tell me that. And then they mentioned that, the doctor at the hospital mentioned that. He's like, well, the risk could be meningitis, and because you're pregnant, we just want to be sure that everything's okay. So he did like a neurological test on me, and then they ruled out pneumonia as well because I had cough and a fever. They did a COVID test. None of those things came back positive. The only thing that came back positive was that I had a UTI, of all things. This was the week after I had a yeast infection. So I had a UTI and an upper respiratory tract infection and a really bad migraine. And so I think I'm low on trace minerals. They did tell me I was low in sodium when I went into the hospital because they ran some labs. So every time I drink water now, I put a little sprinkle of salt in it or lemon, because that helps your body to hold on to water more for some reason. Maybe it's just because we're in the middle of summer and it's super hot. I need that. Something that has also helped me get a little bit more of trace minerals is liquid IV. This stuff is really great. This one is the tangerine flavor. So because it has the electrolytes, it equals more water. So normally if you drink 3 bottles of water, it equals 1 cup or 1 bottle. So this is really great. It doesn't have anything, it has dextrose in it, which is not great, but it also has stevia in it. So in moderate amounts. It also has a lot of vitamin C in it and zinc. There's another one that I like a little bit better than this that has magnesium, and magnesium is a trace mineral that you're supposed to have. So I'm still looking for a trace mineral, drops that I can put in my water, just to make sure that I'm getting them in my body, because you don't tend to get enough with your regular vitamins. So let's move on to books and things that have helped me immensely in this pregnancy. I got this book when I was pregnant with Adeline. It's called Real Food for Pregnancy. It's The Science and Wisdom of Optimal Prenatal Nutrition by Lily Nichols. This book is so good because it teaches you how to nourish your body for pregnancy in the way that most doctors traditionally would not teach you. And she has a ton of footnotes in here. All of this much of the book is references. And so it's backed by research, and it recommends you eat things that you normally would avoid in pregnancy. But she gives the reasons why. And so it teaches you how to eat completely to support your pregnancy through your food, instead of constantly needing another supplement here and there. So obviously you should still take your prenatals. You should consult with your midwife or your doctor, but this book is so good. I highly, highly recommend it. It's very, very intriguing, very interesting. Obviously, another book that I'm going to be reading this pregnancy, which I haven't started yet, is Supernatural Childbirth. I love that book. It changed my life. It enabled me to have a painless, nearly painless childbirth with my second baby compared to a painful childbirth at home with my first. So both of my babies were home births. This baby will also be a home birth. But it changed my perspective on pregnancy and giving birth completely, and even conception. If you've been told that you can't have a baby, you can't have a baby. The lady who wrote this book was told she couldn't have children, and progressively with each pregnancy she got closer and closer to her goal of having a pain-free childbirth, and eventually she did have a pain-free childbirth, and I think she had maybe 3 babies completely pain-free. So good. I will link all these resources down below for you, especially the books. Definitely check them out. Another book that is very, very helpful, was very helpful in my birth with Adeline, is called Unassisted Childbirth. I do not recommend that you have a baby unassisted, but it is good to have these inspiring stories of women who gave birth without any interventions at all, or anyone assisting their birth except for their husbands. So good. And I'm really glad I read it before I had Adeline, because my midwife did not make it in time to my birth with her. And so having those stories present in my mind while I was giving birth was really encouraging, and it was very, very helpful for me to keep my mind in the right place. Okay, so another little thing as far as clothing goes. So in your first trimester, you don't really need a whole maternity wardrobe at all. You're still really small and everything, but something that does happen is you start getting bloated. And so regular pants stop fitting, and anything with like a tight waistband is just super uncomfortable. So these are like my favorite shorts. They're from, I think, Walmart. They're just the, you know, they have a stretchy waistband and they have a drawstring. They're pretty cute, and they have a little zipper for the pocket on the back, on the side, sorry, and then there's one little pocket here. And they're actually a decent length. They are longer than the ones I'm wearing right now. They're super comfy. I have these in like 4 different colors because I love them so much, and I've had these since I was pregnant with Adeline. They're great. So I would suggest you get like stretchy waist shorts or pants or even skirts for those days when you feel more bloated, because it will help you get through your first trimester a lot more easily. And then when you finally start showing for like your second trimester, which I finally started showing, these ones with the panel are really nice because they're nice and stretchy, and baby fits really good in them. So those are the things I would suggest for your first trimester. Get lots of rest, get lots of hydration. Not tearing in childbirth is all equivalent to the amount of water and the amount of hydration that you had throughout your entire pregnancy. And my goal this time is to not tear at all. I've torn with both of my babies, and I do not want to do that again. So that's where I've been. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. I am so sorry that it has taken me so long to finish that patio makeover video, but it is coming. I finally got more paint to finish out the steps because I ran out of white paint for that. Need to order a few things for that as well, but it will be coming out very, very soon, I promise, because I also want to enjoy that patio and it's not done. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for coming along on this journey. I will have a lot more pregnancy related videos and content on this channel. I'm coming out with another, you know, just different viewpoints of having a child-free, no. That would be awful. A child-free birth. No, no, no. A pain-free childbirth. So, you know, ask me questions. I would love to do like a question and answers type video for having a pain-free childbirth at home, because I'm passionate about it and I get asked about it all the time. It's the one thing I get asked about the most besides like interior design things and home decor. So ask me questions down below and I will be sure to include those in a future Q&A video. So thank you for watching. I will see you guys very soon, and I'm super excited to be back and be getting into my more regular routine again. So super exciting things coming. Love you guys. We will talk to you very, very soon, me and baby. And I'll see you in my next video. Oh, don't forget, if you haven't watched my patio makeover video, go watch it because it's so good. And if you also haven't watched my pain-free childbirth video, you need to go watch that because it is phenomenal. One last thing I just wanted to say. I feel like I'm scatterbrained, but this pregnancy, childbirth, I will be filming segments of my childbirth and labor, of my labor and childbirth possibly. Obviously nothing graphic, but I do think it would be very, very helpful for women who are believing for a pain-free childbirth or who want to see what is the experience like, because there are moments of doubt in between contractions that I had with Adeline, but it was all about how I recentered my mind and got my focus back. So that will be also coming sometime in January possibly. So super exciting. Love you guys. Okay, this is for real the end of the video. Bye.